Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks heal from trauma so they can get past limiting beliefs to live their best lives right here, right now. Imagine this. You spent years molding yourself to meet other people's needs, always striving to be the good person and reliable friend, the selfless partner. But you didn't realize that escaping narcissistic abuse meant that there was a new image, a new identity. Today, we're going to be exploring your new image and identity after escaping narcissistic abuse. You're no longer the same person, right? Because everything is shattered. A relationship with a narcissist exposes every flaw in their crafted identity. It feels like destruction. But it's actually the beginning of your transformation. Here we help empaths reclaim their power and awaken to their true self. So why is this important? It's important because many empaths feel trapped in cycles of toxic relationships, often blaming themselves for this pain. And in this video, we will explain how narcissistic abuse, while painful, can also be a profound awakening that liberates the empath from their old identity. And we will do this by defining the old identity, analyzing the role of the narcissist as a catalyst for change, and explain how pain leads to transformation through psychological, spiritual, and a neurological lens. And then offer some practical tips, and then highlight how the empath's new identity as a light worker and a guide for others is the way forward. So let's start with the empath's old persona. The origins of this starts here, where many empaths develop their people-pleasing tendencies in childhood. For example, children of narcissistic or emotionally unavailable parents can also or often become hyper-attuned to others' needs to gain approval or avoid conflict. Also, societal expectations reinforce this behavior, particularly for women and marginalized groups, emphasizing self-sacrifice over self-expression. Self-sacrifice over self-expression. And the key traits of being a people pleaser include over-accommodation, constantly adjusting your behaviors to avoid upsetting others, a lack of boundaries, difficulty saying no even at personal expense, and then really desiring and needing external validation, deriving your self-worth from others' approval. From a multidisciplinary perspective, maybe we'll start here with psychology. Attachment theory in psychology explains how anxious or avoidant attachment styles fuel the narcissist's need to appease. And then codependency is a common trait among empaths, marked by a compulsive need to fix others or things. Then neuroscientifically, we know that chronic stress from childhood trauma can overactivate the amygdala, the fear center, making empaths hyper-vigilant. Sociologically, cultural narratives such as a selfless caregiver often glorify people-pleasing, making it harder for empaths to recognize it as unhealthy. So how does the narcissist act as a catalyst? Well, firstly, we should explore why the narcissist targets empaths. And empaths typically possess deep emotional intelligence, making them ideal sources of narcissistic supply. And it's also because a narcissist seeks control, and empath's tendency to doubt themselves make them easier to manipulate, much, much easier. And the cycles and strategies of narcissistic abuse often start with idealization, where the narcissist mirrors the empath's deeply held desires because the narcissist has predatory instincts for this, and thus they're able to create the illusion of a perfect connection. There's also devaluation, including subtle critiques, gaslighting, silent treatment, withholding affection, and so forth, all designed to destabilize the empath's true sense of self. And then ultimately there's a discard. This is when the narcissist, and hopefully the empath does this too, abruptly ends a relationship, leaving the empath confused and broken. This is really dastardly. From using more evidence, we know psychologically trauma bonding explains why empaths stay in abusive relationships despite the pain. Sort of a Stockholm syndrome, if you may. And philosophically, Nietzsche's concept of the abyss as a metaphor for the empath's journey highlights this darkness that you feel when you are in suffering, right? So how does the old identity collapse? Well, the empath reaches a moment of clarity when you realize that the old methods of coping, which were people-pleasing and self-sacrifice, are no longer sustainable. It happened to me. So when this happens, the unbearable dissonance between who you think you are and how you're being treated become apparent. And this is when the role of transformation comes in, because the pain from these repeating cycles that you've been through creates great discomfort. And it's this discomfort that forces you to confront the truth. In fact, in Buddhist philosophy, suffering is the first step toward enlightenment, as it forces the individual, the empath, to seek deeper truths. So how do you awaken to your true self? Well, as the empath begins to heal, working with a coach like myself, and if I can be of help to you, type transform or visit my website, innermileage.com, and book a complimentary session. As you begin to heal, you begin to discover a version of yourself that prioritizes authenticity over approval. And some of the traits of a healthy self include healthy boundaries, confidence rooted in self-awareness, a sense of purpose that transcends external validation, etc. And from a multidisciplinary perspective, we know that Joseph Campbell's story about the hero's journey, which I often reference, aligns with the empath's awakening, where the ordeal leads to the discovery of inner power. From a neuroscience perspective, there's also neuroplasticity, which proves how you can shift based on establishing new neural connections based on new patterns, you see. So what are some practical steps for healing, recognizing your new identity after you've come into this place? Is to have firm boundaries where you can politely but firmly say no, or I'm not available for that, without over-explaining. Self-awareness practices like journaling, angel-free writing, reflection, meditation, all enable you to hear your voice versus the sound of other voices. And working with a licensed therapist or certified coach, where you can leverage tools such as meditation, body-based somatic practices, and others that we do here at Inner Mileage, can help you. So now you're in this authentic place where your needs and preferences from a compassionate perspective become more prominent than other people's. And some signs of knowing that you're in this place of transformation include feeling alignment to something bigger than you. Then the process of being able to make decisions based on intuition and values, not fear and obligation as you once did. And recognizing that the empath, as a light worker, uses their experience to guide and inspire others, like I'm doing. I couldn't be sharing this with you if I hadn't had my own, of course, blue chip career experiences and high level professional training. But my biggest qualification is that I experienced narcissistic abuse for decades, for most of my life. And so you realize that the reason for that is so you can be a light unto others assigned to you. That narcissistic abuse, while devastating, is a powerful catalyst for self-discovery and transformation. And to recognize that empaths are not broken, but are resilient beings, spiritual beings, capable of profound growth. And in some cases, some people even embody new names, new identities, new ways of being, new looks, etc. It's all about aligning to this truth. If this journey resonates with you, subscribe to our channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, and share it with others you think can benefit from it. And remember, there's absolutely no one like you. Your pain was for your power. Peace.